tomorrow, my lovely little ghosts, and welcome to the Dark Orchard. I'm Laura, and today is my Scream Countdown. As I said in my intro, this is a Scream Countdown video. More specifically, I'm going to be counting down my top 13 favorite scenes from the original Scream movie. I shouldn't have to say this, but from this moment on, there will be Scream spoilers, so if you've never seen Scream, what are you doing? I believe it's still on Netflix. Go to Netflix right now, watch Scream, come back to this video, because I want you to see this video, but I more importantly want you to see Scream. Also, while you're at it, go listen to Your Number's Up by Ice 9 Kills. Also, little side note, in case you're wondering, I totally got this shirt from Walmart for less than $10, and it's amazing. Anywho, without further delay, let's get started. My number 13 favorite Scream scene is when Ghostface says, "I want to know who I'm looking at."
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
What did you say?
Which is also a very iconic line from the new Ice 9 Kills song, Your Number's Up.
I want to know who I'm looking at.
It's the turning point at the beginning of the movie. It is the definition of iconic. It sets the tone for the horror film, where before that one little part, we weren't even sure if it was gonna be a scary movie or not. I want to know who I'm looking at was that snap. It was that perfect twist to get everything rolling. Number 12 brings us to the end of the film, because my number 12 favorite scene is when Matthew Lillard is laid out on the table. He asks if Sydney really did call the cops, and he whines, "Mom and Dad are going to be so mad at me." I love that part.
My mom and dad are going to be so mad.
He sold it. He sold that teenager afraid of the minor things versus the actual crucial things part of his character, and I loved it. Number 11 takes place inside of the movie store, where Randy is ranting about everyone being a suspect.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula. Everybody's a suspect.
That scene was really, really awesome. I love how all of the different horror movies are strategically placed around them. I love the interactions. I love the reactions from Matthew Lillard. It's just really beautifully shot. And the writing in the whole film is fantastic, but the writing in that scene, or any of Randy's lines for that matter, are on point. My number 10 takes us back to Stu's house at the very ending of the film, where Billy's talking about how movies don't make psychos, movies make psychos more creative.
I've seen one too many movies.
Now, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
That line is brilliant. There was this big thing in the 90s about blaming the media and video games and horror movies for violence that teens were acting out. One line really sums it up. Number 9 is one of the most genius scenes ever, because it was slightly foreshadowed earlier in the movie, but when Sid is running away from Ghostface, and she has the two adjacent doors, and the one door blocks the other door, genius. I was actually watching something the other day, and that happened in it, and I was like, oh, that's like in Scream, because that scene is very iconic to me, and I love that scene so much. Like, oh, I know what it was. I was watching a YouTube video, and the girl had gotten her door stuck because the other door was locked onto it. That's what it was. I think Sid really thought fast in that moment. That was just absolutely stunning, how just that one little flick of the wrist and the door closed and then it wouldn't open. You know what I mean. It was a great scene. It was just a great scene. Number 8 is one of the best scenes in the entire movie. When we get to see Wes Craven in the hallway, and not only do we get to see Wes Craven in the hallway, he's the janitor, but he's dressed like Freddy Krueger. He's dressed in the hat and the sweater. And funny story, I worked at a school one time and the janitor wore that same hat and sweater almost every single day. And I thought it was so funny. He had like shaggy gray hair and he would walk the halls in a red and dark green sweater and a brown hat. And I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I'd like to think that he did, because every time I saw him walk by a classroom, it creeped me out. It creeped me out, but it also reminded me of that Wes Craven scene, and it's brilliant. I love to see cameos in movies and shows, especially something like that. So that's why my number 8 is the Wes Craven appearance, and my number 7 is the Linda Blair appearance. One second they're mentioning The Exorcist, and in the very next scene we get to see Linda Blair as one of the reporters. It's always a treat to see Linda Blair in things, especially when it's horror, when her entire career was built on horror roots. So seeing the girl from The Exorcist all grown up playing a reporter in a really brilliant horror film that basically revitalized the horror genre in the 90s, it's brilliant. It's perfect, it's beautiful, and I love it. Number 6 is one of the most subliminal scenes in the film. That is the time that Billy crawls through Sydney's window and Don't Fear the Reaper starts playing.
What are you doing here? Well, it occurred to me that I've never snuck through your bedroom window.
Right, and now that it's out of your system.
Because it's not only subliminal and foreshadowing, but it's also a really good song, and it's a song that you just barely hear playing in the background. It's a very low tempo song over top of a scene that has a lot of information in it, but that's what makes it so good. And being such a music buff and a classic rock buff, I really absolutely love that scene. Number 5, we go back to the beginning with Casey Becker, and just the fact that they name so many old classics, from Friday the 13th to Nightmare on Elm Street.
Halloween. You know, the one with the guy in the white mask who walks around and stalks babysitters?
Yeah,
What's yours?
guess.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is that the one where the guy had knives for fingers?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy, that's right. I like that movie.
Not just the beginning either, like all of the horror movie references through the whole movie. They just have so many nods to so many classic horror films, from Prom Night to Nightmare on Elm Street to Friday the 13th, like, and of course Halloween, which was Casey Becker's favorite movie. Like, there's just so many references, and it's so nice. It's so cool. It's just like the horror movie fan's dream. Have a scary movie that talks about scary movies. It's just fun. It's just so much fun. My number 4 slot goes to the scene where Billy falls down the stairs. And in this moment, Sydney's shocked, thinking that Billy was killed earlier, and then he falls down the stairs, he acts panicked for a moment, and then he turns, the switch flips, and all of a sudden, you know he's the killer 100%.
I'm okay. You're like a step. Just help me. Whoa, come on. Stu's flipped out. He's gone mad.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
And that moment was just, the first time I saw Scream, it was mind-blowing. It's a beautiful scene. The quotes from that scene are gorgeous. And if you've ever seen The Daily Wheel, Spencer from Ice Nine Kills makes a brief appearance, plays the role of Billy, and rolls down the steps. It's absolutely amazing. It's cinematic, it's gorgeous, and I love it. I cannot count the number of times that I have rewatched that scene, because Spencer does such a fantastic job. Like, not even kidding, does an amazing job recreating that scene. And I think I'm actually going to pop that in right here. Of course, that footage belongs to the Daily Woo, and I suggest you check out his channel because he's always going to absolutely amazing places and showing off really cool attractions in different areas. He goes to Tennessee, he goes to Florida, he goes to Disney. Like, there's just so much that he does, so go check out his channel. But my point is, my number 4 pick is the scene where Billy falls down the stairs, and that scene is made even more special knowing that Spencer from Ice Nine Kills has recreated that scene, and it's on tape. Number 3, I'm a little biased here. Tatum is probably my favorite character from Scream. I love Tatum. So my number 3 slot goes to a Tatum quote, a Tatum scene, and that's actually her death scene. Well, more specifically, the moments leading up to her death. I love when she looks up at Ghostface and she's talking in that mimicking voice and she names him for the first time and says, "Please, Mr. Ghostface, don't kill me. I want to be in the sequel."
Oh, you want to play psycho killer? Can I be the helpless victim? Okay, let's see. No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel. Cut, Casper. That's a wrap.
I love it. I love that moment so much. And I also love their little fight sequence before she dies. Like, that entire moment from the second that Ghostface closes the door to her dying. Brilliant scene. Absolutely brilliant. Wonderfully done, wonderfully choreographed. Just every second of it was perfect. My number 2 pick is going to be the moments on the couch where Randy is explaining the rules, and also when he's talking about Jamie Lee Curtis and her being the Scream Queen. I love that entire compact moment.
That's why she always outsmarted the killer in the big chase scene at the end. Only virgins can do that. Don't you know the rules? What rules? You don't... Jesus Christ, you don't know the rules?
Have an aneurysm, why don't you?
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Because I'm a huge Jamie Lee Curtis fan. I love her. I loved everything I've ever seen her in. She's gorgeous, she's beautiful, she's an amazing actress. And one thing that I absolutely adore about Jamie Lee Curtis, she doesn't talk about acting the same way that most people talk about acting. When she talks about acting, she talks about it like she has pretended to play a character versus my role as. She's more, when I was pretending to be this character. She just always seems really relaxed with everything that she does and every character that she plays, and she does it so well. She really encompasses the character without losing herself in them, and I really love that. I love that she seems to have fun with any role that she takes on. My number 1 favorite Scream scene, the number 1 moment from the entire amazing film that deserves all the praise. My number 1 moment that I put above all the others is the moment where Randy's laying on the sofa and he's hugging the pillow and he's screaming at Halloween. And he's screaming the words, "Jamie, behind you. Jamie, look behind you." And while he's screaming these things, Ghostface is creeping up behind him.
Watch out, Jamie. You know he's around. You know. Oh, there he is. I told you. He's right around the corner.
Jamie, look behind you. Look behind you. Turn around. Behind you. Oh, turn. Behind you. Behind you, Jamie.
Why do I love this scene so much? Because it's probably the most meta scene in the entire film. Because the actor that plays Randy, his name is Jamie. He's Jamie Kennedy. So him saying, "Jamie, behind you. Jamie, turn around," is relevant. Like, his name is Jamie. He's yelling at Jamie Lee Curtis, but he's also being meta by saying his own name because Ghostface is creeping up on him. You get what I'm saying. You know why this scene is perfect, because it is. It's perfect and it's meta and it's just the ideal scene for such a movie. For a movie that's self-aware, this was its peak self-aware, almost breaking the fourth wall moment. And that's what makes that my #1 pick for my favorite Scream scene. So that was me counting down my top 13 favorite scenes from the amazing movie Scream. Today, the day that this video is posted, is the Scream anniversary. So in the comments down below, I want to know your favorite scene from Scream. Was it one of mine? Do you have another? Did I name your favorite in my list? Did I not touch it at all? Let me know down in the comments what your favorite moment from the original Scream is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you come around again soon. Say bye. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you come around again soon. Say bye. Bye.